Hello everyone, this is EgboJ20 and in today's video I'm going to be explaining why virtual dollar card services exist in Nigeria. So what is a virtual dollar card service? A virtual dollar card service can be an app or a website that basically lets you create a virtual dollar card that you can use to shop on international sites like Amazon, eBay, AliExpress, and Shein. Can use to pay for your online subscriptions like your Apple Music and so on. Now there are a lot of notable virtual dollar card services in Nigeria like Chipper Cash, GeekPay, and so on. Now in this video I'm going to explain in the best way possible why these services exist in the first place. And actually someone made this video before me, and that's the tech YouTuber Pseudo. His video goes in depth on this topic and you can watch it up here on the description down here. But with that out of the way, let's get started. So let's go back to the good times. Yeah, good times baby, oh my god. Yeah, so in Pseudo's video, he was like back in 2012, like he was talking about UBA Bank, and he was like basically that your Naira cards back then could support international transactions and you had very high transaction limits. So you could use it to shop on any site you wanted to with just your Naira card only. But nowadays, you can't even use your Naira card on any international site without it getting declined immediately. So why can't we use these cards anymore? Well, the reason why we simply can't use our Naira cards on these sites is because of one body in Nigeria, and that is the CBN. Now the CBN, also known as the Central Bank of Nigeria, is the apex bank in Nigeria, and they're the ones who dictate what other banks should do in Nigeria. Like for example, if the CBN should create a new policy that all banks in Nigeria must follow, then all banks in Nigeria must follow suit whether they want to or not. So you may be asking, how does the CBN have a hand in this? It's simple, because of the CBN's dollar supply. Now over the years, the CBN's dollar supply has been depleting and depleting. Even up to this day, it's still depleting. Now this is due to several economic factors in the country. If you live in Nigeria, you know, like so many economic factors are affecting the dollar supply of the CBN. And because of these economic factors and economic decisions made by the Nigerian government, it's making it to keep on depleting. And because of the depletion of the dollar supply, what did the CBN do? The CBN had to end up making banks to reduce the transaction limits for international transactions on your Naira card. Now again, in Pseudo's video, he was like the international transaction limit for your Naira card basically reduced to $500 per month, meaning that you could only spend $500 per month, and if you went above that $500 limit, you couldn't use it until the next month. In fact, it kept depleting even more and more, and even reduced to $100 per month. And then it kept depleting even more and more, and even reduced to $20 per month. Like, what's that? It now got to the point where the CBN decided to stop international transactions for your Naira card. So from December 31st, 2022, they decided to suspend all international transactions in regards to your Naira card, meaning that you couldn't use your Naira card on sites like AliExpress or even to pay for your subscriptions like your Apple Music and so on. Your Naira card is practically useless when it comes to anything internationally related. Now, it's still possible for you to still shop in dollars when it comes to your bank, but the thing is this: if you want to shop in dollars with your bank, you would need to have a domiciliary account, and to get a domiciliary account in Nigeria, like in any Nigerian bank, you need to make sure that that bank offers domiciliary services, and you need to follow the conditions that the bank has in place for your domiciliary account. Now for me, I would love to open a domiciliary account, but my main problem is the money. Now I have all the conditions that I need, but the money is the main issue, because where will I even find $100 when I don't even have a job or any source of income? Like, to be honest with you, couldn't even afford $20. So how will I find $100 that, So the main problems now are that, number one, there is a high demand for these international services. People want to shop on them. Number two is that Naira cards have been suspended and you can't use your Naira card to shop on any international site. And number three, you can't get a domiciliary account. But the thing is that not everyone can fulfill those conditions. So how else are you going to pay for this stuff? It's simple, and that is where virtual dollar cards come in. Now, because of all these problems here, that is why these virtual dollar cards exist, to solve the problem. Now, with these virtual dollar card services, you don't need to go to any bank to do anything. You just need your phone for the registration process. And it makes it really easy for you to swap your Naira to dollars. And you can just pay for any international service of your choice with ease. But you do have to keep in mind that when registering on these virtual dollar card apps, that number one, you still need your KYC details, and number two, you're going to be shopping at the black market rate, which is more expensive than the bank rate that no one can really even trade on at this point. But in the end of the day, there are so many virtual card services in Nigeria, and the main one that I personally use and would recommend is Chipper Cash. Just make sure that you do your research on what virtual card service would work for you. Now anyway, that's all for today's video. If you have anything else to add, comment below. If you have any questions, comment below. I hope I see you guys next time. Peace out.